Acts of God by Earl Nightingale. Lesson 1. The Magic of Belief. There is a power within you so magnificent, so extraordinary, that once understood and applied, will transform your life in ways you never thought possible. This power is the magic of belief. I've spent years studying the most successful men and women of our time, and in each case, I discovered the same fundamental truth. What we truly believe with conviction and certainty inevitably manifests in our experience. Your mind, my friend, is the most fertile soil in the universe, and like any soil, it doesn't discriminate between what seeds you plant. Plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, and those will grow with the same vigor as seeds of confidence, courage, and possibility. The difference lies not in the soil, but in what you choose to cultivate. Consider for a moment why two people with similar talents and opportunities can achieve vastly different results. One soars to remarkable heights while the other remains grounded, never reaching their potential. The difference is not found in their abilities, but in their beliefs about what's possible. The first person holds the unshakable conviction that success is inevitable, while the second harbors doubts that quietly sabotage their efforts. Most people fail not because they lack intelligence or opportunity, but because they lack belief in themselves. They look at challenges and see barriers. They look at problems and see dead ends. The magic happens when you look at the very same circumstances and see stepping stones instead. Your belief system operates like a thermostat, setting the temperature for what you'll achieve. Set it too low, and you'll never experience the warmth of your full potential. But adjust that thermostat. Change your beliefs, and everything changes. What makes belief so powerful is its effect on your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind may set goals and make plans, but it's your subconscious that drives your actions, responses, and habits. When you truly believe something, your subconscious accepts it as fact and works tirelessly to make it your reality. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. At first, your conscious mind focused on every movement, balancing, pedaling, steering. But once you believed you could ride, your subconscious took over, making those movements automatic. Success works the same way. Once you truly believe you can succeed, your subconscious guides your actions toward that success. The wonderful news is that beliefs can be changed. They are not fixed parts of your identity, but learned responses that can be unlearned and replaced. The mind that can hold a limiting belief can just as easily embrace an empowering one. Begin today with what I call the 7-day mental diet. Identify one limiting belief that's holding you back. Perhaps it's, I'm not good with money, or I don't have what it takes to lead. For the next 7 days, whenever this thought appears, immediately replace it with its positive opposite. Track how often you need to make this correction, and you'll be amazed at how frequently these thoughts have been undermining you. Remember, the magic of belief isn't mystical. It's a practical principle that operates in your life whether you recognize it or not. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits, and your habits become your destiny. Choose your beliefs wisely, for in a very real sense, they are choosing your future. Lesson 2. The strangest secret. There exists in our world a principle so profound, yet so simple, that once understood, it transforms lives with the power of a lightning bolt. This principle, this strangest secret, can be stated in just 8 words. We become what we think about most of the time. Think about that for a moment. Your dominant thoughts, the ones you nurture and revisit hour after hour, day after day, are creating your future with the precision of a master craftsman. The human mind doesn't distinguish between constructive and destructive thoughts. It simply brings to life whatever occupies its attention. Look around you. The successful men and women you admire didn't arrive there by accident or luck. They arrived by maintaining a clear picture of their destination in their minds. They thought about where they wanted to go consistently, persistently, and with burning desire. Their thoughts became things. Most people drift through life like ships without rudders, blown about by every passing wind of circumstance. Why? Because they haven't chosen their thoughts. They react rather than create. They worry about what they don't want instead of focusing on what they do want. And so, by the natural law that governs all our lives, they create more of what they fear and less of what they desire. The great tragedy is that we've never been taught this secret. From childhood, we're instructed in mathematics, language, and science, but rarely in the proper use of our minds. Yet this one principle contains more power than all other academic subjects combined. Your mind is like the most powerful broadcasting station on Earth, sending out signals that bring back exactly what matches them. Think thoughts of lack. You'll experience more lack. You'll experience more lack. Think thoughts of abundance. You'll begin to attract abundance in surprising ways. This isn't mystical nonsense. It's practical psychology. When you focus on a goal, your mind automatically begins to notice opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to you. Your subconscious mind activates, working day and night to bring your dominant thoughts into reality. The application is simple but requires discipline. Choose one important goal, something you truly desire to achieve. Write it on a card in clear, specific language. Carry this card with you always. 3 times daily. Morning, noon, and night. Take a quiet moment to read your goal aloud. As you read, see yourself already having achieved it. Feel the emotions of accomplishment. Do this for 30 days without fail. You'll notice something remarkable beginning to happen. Ideas will come to you. Opportunities will present themselves. You'll find yourself taking actions you previously avoided. The goal will begin to materialize, sometimes in ways you never expected. This is the strangest secret, hidden in plain sight for all to discover. You become what you think about most of the time, not what you hope for or wish for, what you deeply, consistently think about with expectation. Start today with one clear goal and watch as this simple principle reveals its extraordinary power in your life. Lesson 3. The Acres of Diamonds. There's a remarkable story that's been told for generations about a farmer who sold his land to search for diamonds, only to have the new owner discover one of the richest diamond mines in the world right there on that very property. The first farmer had been living on acres of diamonds, but was too busy looking elsewhere to notice the treasure beneath his feet. My friends, this tale holds one of life's most profound truths. The opportunities we desperately seek are often right where we stand. Look around you. Really look. That job you've grown tired of, that neighborhood you're eager to leave, that relationship you've begun to take for granted. These may be your acres of diamonds. The greatest fortunes, both material and spiritual, are frequently disguised as ordinary circumstances. Consider the case of the small shopkeeper who complained about his location until he decided to truly understand his customers. By simply paying attention to what they actually needed rather than what he thought they wanted, he transformed his struggling store into the cornerstone business of the community. The human mind is naturally drawn to the exotic and distant. We imagine success requires dramatic change, a new career, a different city, an entirely fresh start. This is rarely the case. True achievement comes from developing a new vision of your current surroundings. Most people never realize that the work they're doing right now, if approached with excellence and innovation, contains all the elements needed for remarkable success. Edison didn't invent electricity. He simply saw possibilities in what others had overlooked. Ford didn't invent the automobile. He reimagined how it could be produced and sold. What might you be overlooking in your daily life? What problems exist in your current situation that, if solved, could create tremendous value? The answer to these questions may reveal your diamonds. Remember this truth. Mastery of your present circumstances is what creates unexpected opportunities. When you become exceptionally good at what you're already doing, doors open that you couldn't have imagined. The promotion, the business opportunity, the chance meeting, these come to those who have first mastered their current position. The tragedy of human existence isn't that we aim too high and miss, but that we settle for too little when greatness is within reach. Your acres of diamonds aren't somewhere over the horizon. They're right beneath your feet. Instead of constantly seeking the next big thing, try something revolutionary. Look for wealth where you already stand. Examine your skills, relationships, knowledge, and experiences with fresh eyes. What value have you been overlooking? What possibilities have been waiting patiently for your attention? The opportunity of a lifetime is seldom somewhere else. It's where you are right now, waiting to be discovered by new eyes. Look deeper, think differently, and you may find your acres of diamonds have been with you all along. Lesson 4. Your attitude is everything. The greatest discovery of our generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. As you think, so shall you be. I've traveled across this great country of ours and met thousands of people from all walks of life. The one distinguishing factor between those who achieve remarkable success and those who merely exist is not talent, education, or opportunity. It's attitude. Your attitude is the window through which you view the world. When your attitude is right, the world looks bright. Opportunities abound and problems become challenges to overcome, rather than obstacles that defeat you. When your attitude is wrong, everything appears dark and foreboding. The same world, entirely different experience. Remember this truth. Life doesn't respond to what you want. Life responds to your dominant attitude. Like a mirror, the world reflects back to you exactly what you project outward. Smile at the world, and the world smiles back. Frown, and you'll see frowns everywhere you look. The wonderful thing about attitude is that it's entirely within your control. No one can force you to have a bad attitude. No circumstance, no matter how difficult, can dictate your mental outlook without your permission. The choice is always yours. Think about the last time you faced a serious problem. Your attitude in that moment determined everything, whether you saw it as a crushing blow or a valuable lesson, whether you became bitter or better, whether you gave up or stood up. Your attitude works in mysterious ways too. It communicates to others without words. People can sense your outlook and are naturally drawn to positive attitudes while repelled by negative ones. Have you ever noticed how a positive person can enter a room and lift everyone's spirits? That's the magnetic power of attitude at work. Attitude also affects your physical health. Medical research has shown that positive attitudes strengthen the immune system, while negative attitudes weaken it. Your mind and body are connected in ways we're just beginning to understand. But here's the real secret. Your attitude is a habit. And like any habit, it can be changed through consistent practice. You weren't born with your current attitude. You weren't born with your current attitude. You developed it over time through repeated thought patterns. Begin today to monitor your thoughts. When negative attitudes appear, gently but firmly replace them with positive ones. At first, this will require conscious effort, but soon it will become second nature. Each morning when you wake up, make a decision about what kind of attitude you'll carry throughout the day. Choose to be positive, expectant, and grateful. This simple decision, made consistently, will lift you to heights you never thought possible. Remember, your attitude determines your altitude in life. No matter where you start, with the right attitude, there's no limit to how high you can soar. The choice is yours, and it begins now, with the very next thought you think. Lesson 5. The River of Knowledge. Have you ever stood beside a mighty river, watching its waters flow endlessly toward the distant horizon? That river, my friend, is knowledge, and it flows eternally for those wise enough to drink from it. The person who stops learning is like someone dying of thirst while standing at the river's edge, too stubborn or too blind to bend down and cup their hands in the life. Giving water. Knowledge isn't merely power, it's transformation. When you learn something truly valuable, you become someone new. You become someone new. You can never return to being the person you were before that understanding entered your mind. This is why the most successful people in every field are invariably students for life. Consider that the average American spends 17 years in formal education, then never reads another serious book after graduation. Is it any wonder that so many lives plateau at mediocrity? The diploma isn't the end of education. It's merely your permission to begin the real learning that will shape your destiny. Books contain the distilled wisdom of human experience. When you read thoughtfully, you're essentially having a conversation with the finest minds across all of history. For the price of a modest meal, you can access the insights that took someone else a lifetime to discover. This is perhaps civilization's greatest bargain. 15 minutes of focused daily reading can transform your life within 1 year. That small investment? Less time than most people spend scrolling mindlessly through social media. Comes like interest in a bank account? After 12 months, you'll have absorbed more useful information than most people gather in a decade. The quality of your reading matters more than the quantity. A single profound idea, thoroughly understood and applied, will serve you better than 100 shallow concepts that merely entertain. Read with a purpose. Read with a pencil in hand to mark the passages that speak directly to your circumstances. Read as if the author has written those words specifically for you. Knowledge becomes wisdom only through application. The river flows to nourish the land, not merely to be admired from a distance. Each day, put into practice something valuable you've learned. Even small applications of great principles can produce remarkable results over time. Remember always that while information may be plentiful in our modern world, true knowledge, the kind that transforms lives, remains as precious as it was in ancient times. The difference between the person you are today and the person you'll be 5 years from now depends largely on two things: the people you meet and the books you read. Wade into the river of knowledge daily. Let its currents carry away your limitations and bring you treasures from distant shores. Your mind, like a vessel, can only hold so much at once. But unlike physical containers, it expands with each new idea it embraces. This is the miracle of human potential. There is no limit to how much we can learn, and therefore no limit to what we might become. Lesson 6. The 6-inch rule. The most powerful control center in the universe sits right between your ears. That 6-inch space, your mind, determines everything about your life more than any external circumstance ever could. I've studied successful people for decades, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that the quality of your thinking creates the quality of your life. Your mind works much like a powerful broadcasting station. Every thought you entertain sends signals that manifest in your experiences. Think thoughts of lack, and you'll experience scarcity. Think thoughts of abundance, and you'll begin noticing opportunities everywhere. This isn't mystical nonsense. It's practical reality. Most people never realize they have complete authority over what happens in their mental kingdom. They allow random thoughts to drift through unchallenged, not understanding that each thought is like programming code being written into their life's operating system. The average person thinks thousands of thoughts daily, with research suggesting that for many, up to 70 are negative or limiting. When you fully grasp the 6-inch rule, everything changes. You recognize that no condition, circumstance, or person can control your mental state without your permission. You can literally decide what to think at any moment. Consider two people facing identical challenges. One allows their mind to focus on problems, catastrophizing every possible negative outcome. The other consciously directs their thoughts toward solutions, advantages, and opportunities. Which person do you suppose will overcome the challenge more effectively? The answer is abundantly clear. Your self-talk, that constant conversation you have with yourself, creates your self-image. Your self-image then determines what actions feel normal for you to take. This explains why some people consistently achieve remarkable results while others remain stuck. It's not about talent or luck. It's about what you permit to occupy those critical 6 inches. The wonderful news is that you can reprogram your thinking. Old mental patterns can be replaced with new ones through conscious effort and repetition. Think of your mind as a garden. You must actively plant the seeds you want to grow and diligently remove the weeds that appear. With persistence, your mental garden will flourish with exactly what you've cultivated. I've seen this transformation countless times. The executive who shifted from overwhelmed to strategic calm by managing his thoughts. The salesperson who replaced rejection fears with genuine curiosity about customer needs. the parent who transformed family tensions by focusing on appreciation rather than criticism. Remember this: everything ever created by humans began as a single thought. The buildings around you, the device you're using, the systems that govern our world, all started in someone's mind. Your life works the same way. The thoughts you regularly entertain become the blueprints for your experiences. Master the 6 inches between your ears, and you'll master your destiny. There is no more important work you can do than taking complete ownership of your thinking. When you control your thoughts, you control your thoughts. You control your life. Lesson 7. The power of your word. Words are the vessels that carry our thoughts into the world of reality. They are, perhaps, the most remarkable tools ever placed in human hands. Think about it, my friend. With mere words, nations have been built and destroyed, hearts have been won and lost, and the entire course of human history has been shaped time and again. Your words are not simply sounds that escape your lips or letters strung together on a page. They are living, breathing forces that shape your circumstances in ways both seen and unseen. When you speak, you are literally creating. When you declare something with conviction, you set in motion forces far greater than you may realize. Consider the common phrase many of us use: "I can't afford it." These 4 simple words, repeated often enough, program your mind to see limitation rather than possibility. They become a self-fulfilling prophecy that ensures you will indeed remain unable to afford the things you desire. What if, instead, you were to ask, "How can I afford this?" The shift seems small, but the difference is monumental. Your brain is designed to solve problems. When you phrase your words as questions that assume possibility, your magnificent mind begins working on solutions rather than accepting defeat. This is the true meaning of the phrase, "Ask and you shall receive." The asking itself, the words you choose, begin creating the pathway to receiving. Words also create the atmosphere in which you live each day. "I'm exhausted" reinforces fatigue. "This is too difficult" strengthens the perception of impossibility. "Yet I'm gaining energy with each step," or "I'm finding ways to make this simpler," creates an entirely different reality, even when the external circumstances remain unchanged. The most dangerous words of all might be, "I am." Whatever follows these 2 powerful words will inevitably shape your identity and your future. "I am unlucky" guarantees misfortune will find you. "I am unworthy" ensures you'll sabotage opportunities for success. But "I am capable," "I am improving," or "I am improving," or "I am exactly where I need to be on my journey." These declarations reshape your internal world, which in turn transforms your external one. Most people use words carelessly, thoughtlessly scattering them about like seeds in the wind, never considering what crop they might yield. The wise person understands that each word plants something in the garden of their mind. Choose to plant words of possibility, growth, and abundance, and watch how differently your garden grows. Begin today to listen to yourself. Monitor the words you speak aloud and those you whisper in the privacy of your thoughts. Ask yourself, if these words were seeds, would I want what they grow? If not, choose new words. Speak as if you're already the person you wish to become. Use language that aligns with your highest vision, not your current limitations. Your words have created your life as it exists today, and your words, chosen with new awareness from this moment forward, will create the life that awaits you tomorrow. Lesson 8. The echo of your words. Words are the most remarkable tools human beings possess. They're not just sounds we make or letters we arrange. They're the very architecture of our destiny. Have you ever considered that the words you speak today are laying the foundation for the life you'll experience tomorrow? Most folks never realize the tremendous power contained in their everyday speech. The casual remarks, the offhand comments, the phrases we repeat without thinking. These aren't just passing vibrations in the air. They're the seeds of your future harvest. What you say today, you'll live tomorrow. I learned this truth early in my broadcasting career. When speaking to millions of listeners each morning, I discovered something fascinating. The words I chose didn't just describe reality. The words I chose didn't just describe reality, they created it. This isn't mystical thinking. It's practical wisdom understood by successful men and women throughout history. Consider this. Your subconscious mind accepts whatever you tell it, without question. It doesn't argue or analyze. It simply takes your words as commands to be carried out. When you repeatedly say, "I can't afford it," or "that's impossible for someone like me," you're not describing your situation. You're programming your mind to create that very limitation. The opposite is equally true. The person who consistently speaks of opportunity, possibility, and abundance begins to notice these qualities appearing in their life with remarkable frequency. Is this coincidence? Hardly. Your words focus your attention, and what you focus on expands. I've observed thousands of lives transformed when people changed nothing but their words. The salesman who replaced "I hope to make this sale" with "I will serve this customer" well saw his results improve almost overnight. The mother who stopped saying "my child is driving me crazy" and began saying "my child has remarkable energy" discovered parenting became more joyful within days. Your words don't just reflect your thoughts, they direct them. This is why I urge you to conduct a simple experiment. For the next 7 days, speak only what you wish to be true. Eliminate complaints, criticism, and doubt from your vocabulary completely. Replace them with words of gratitude, affirmation, and certainty. This isn't about denying reality. It's about understanding that reality has two parts: what exists now and what's coming into existence through your creative power. Your words help determine which part you live in. Listen to yourself as you speak. Would you plant those words as seeds in your garden and expect a harvest you'd want to eat? If not, choose different words. Remember this fundamental truth. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you expect. And nothing reveals your expectations more clearly than the words you speak hour by hour, day by day. Change your words, and you change the forecast of your life. The most successful people I've known share this common trait. They speak as if their dreams are current realities. They've mastered the language of achievement long before the physical evidence appears. They understand that powerful human words aren't just descriptions. They're the very acts of creation itself. Lesson 9. The power of your words. The words you speak have tremendous power. They are, in a very real sense, acts of creation, acts of God working through you. I have long observed that the most successful people are deliberate with their language, careful with what they send out into the world. Words shape our thoughts, and our thoughts shape our reality. Consider this simple but profound truth. When you speak, you aren't just making sounds or sharing information. You're actually creating vibrations that go out into the universe and begin arranging things on your behalf. This isn't mystic philosophy. It's practical wisdom that anyone can observe. Notice how children respond when told repeatedly they're smart versus being not good at math. The labels we place on them through our words literally program their young minds for certain outcomes. The same process happens with grown adults, except we do it to ourselves. "I'm terrible with money" becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. "I always mess up important presentations" ensures exactly that result. Our everyday conversations are far more significant than most realize. The person who constantly complains attracts more situations to complain about. The individual who expresses gratitude finds more blessings appearing in their life. This is no coincidence. Your words are like magnets, drawing to you more of whatever you focus on and express. Have you ever noticed that when you change your language, you change your life? Stop saying "I have to" and start saying "I get to." Replace "I'm afraid" with "I'm preparing." Substitute "that's impossible" with "I'm looking for a way." These aren't mere tricks of positive thinking. They're fundamental shifts in how your mind processes reality. Words also bond people together or drive them apart. A thoughtful compliment can create a friendship that lasts decades. A harsh criticism can end a relationship in seconds. The simple phrases "thank you," "I appreciate you," and "I'm sorry" can work miracles in human relations. I remember meeting a factory worker in Michigan who transformed his entire department by changing just one habit. He stopped criticizing and started acknowledging good work. Within 6 months, productivity increased by 22%. No new equipment, no new procedures, just new words. Your internal dialogue matters just as much. The words you say to yourself when no one is listening are programming your subconscious mind. That's why affirmations can be so powerful when used correctly. They're not wishful thinking. They're deliberate commands to your deeper mind. Try this simple practice. For the next 7 days before speaking, ask yourself, are these words creating what I want? You'll be amazed at how much unnecessary negativity you can eliminate, and how much more purposeful your communication becomes. Remember, your words are not just descriptions of your world. They are creative forces that help build it. Choose them with the care of a master craftsman, for they are truly among the most powerful tools you possess. Lesson 10. The Voice Within. The greatest guidance system ever created does not require batteries, does not need software updates, and has never once been improved upon by technology. This remarkable system exists within you at this very moment. It is that still, small voice that speaks when you're quiet enough to listen. Some call it intuition, others conscience, but whatever name you give it, this inner wisdom is one of your most powerful assets. Have you ever noticed how the most successful men and women throughout history have mentioned this inner guidance? They describe moments of clarity that came not from frantic analysis, but from peaceful reflection. This is no coincidence, my friend. Your inner voice speaks the truth when your mind becomes still enough to hear it. Most people live their entire lives in such a constant state of noise that they never truly hear this voice. Their days are filled with television, social media, office chatter, and the endless stream of thoughts racing through their minds. In such an environment, how could anyone hear the whisper of wisdom trying to break through? The tragedy is that your inner voice holds answers you've been seeking. It knows which path you should take when you face a difficult decision. It senses danger before your logical mind can process the situation. It recognizes opportunity while your conscious thoughts are still weighing pros and cons. To access this incredible resource, you must create islands of silence in your life. Begin with just 5 minutes each morning. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and simply breathe. Don't force answers to come. Don't demand solutions to your problems. Simply create the space for your inner voice to speak. When thoughts arise, and they certainly will, observe them without judgment and let them pass like clouds in the sky. Return to your breathing. This simple practice, performed consistently, will gradually tune your awareness to the frequency of your inner wisdom. This voice rarely shouts. It doesn't demand attention like the problems and worries that typically occupy your mind. It speaks clearly but softly, and only when you're truly ready to listen. Many great decisions that changed the course of history came during moments of quiet reflection. The answers appeared not through force, but through surrender to this inner guidance. Your inner voice will never lead you astray. Unlike the opinions of others, which may be clouded by their own fears and desires, your inner wisdom always acts in your best interest. It sees with perfect clarity because it exists beyond the limitations of ego. Trust this voice when it speaks. Even when its guidance contradicts what seems logical, pay attention. Logic operates on limited information, while your inner wisdom draws from a deeper well of understanding. The practice of listening within is simple, but not always easy. Our minds resist stillness. Our egos prefer noise. Yet with persistent practice, you'll develop a relationship with this inner guidance that will serve you in every area of life. Start today. Create that quiet space. Listen for the voice within. It has been waiting patiently to guide you home to yourself. Lesson 11. The Power of Your Words. Words have a remarkable power that few of us truly comprehend. They are, in many ways, the most potent force available to humankind. From the beginning of time, words have created civilizations, launched movements, and transformed ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. Your words create your world, first within your mind and then in the physical reality around you. Think about it for a moment. The universe itself, according to ancient wisdom, was spoken into existence. Let there be light are perhaps the most creative words ever uttered, And while we may not possess such cosmic power, our words nonetheless shape our personal universe in ways both subtle and profound. When you speak, you are using sound to create. Your words form pictures in your mind and in the minds of those who hear you. These mental images then become blueprints for action. The person who consistently speaks of defeat will find it. The one who speaks of opportunity will discover it around every corner. It's not mysticism. It's simply the way our remarkable minds function. Your brain cannot tell the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is real. When you repeatedly use positive, affirmative language, you are essentially programming your subconscious mind to seek out and recognize opportunities aligned with those words. Conversely, negative speech creates negative expectations, and your mind dutifully fulfills those prophecies as well. Most people use their words carelessly, like a child playing with matches in a room full of explosives. They speak of what they fear, what they lack, and what they dread might happen. Is it any wonder they experience more of the same? The wise person guards their speech carefully, knowing that today's words become tomorrow's reality. Consider the difference between saying, "I hope this works," and "I know this will succeed." Feel the energy shift. One statement is weak and uncertain. The other carries the force of conviction, and conviction is what moves mountains. Your words also create your self-concept. When you repeatedly tell yourself, "I can't," or "it's too difficult," you're building internal barriers as real as any physical wall. But when you consistently affirm, "I can and I will find a way," you're creating pathways to achievement in your mind. Perhaps most importantly, your words reveal your character. They tell others who you truly are. A person who speaks with honesty, optimism, and compassion shows these qualities exist within them. Our words eventually reveal our true nature, no matter how we might try to hide it. Starting today, become conscious of your language. Listen to yourself speak. Would you follow the person who talks as you do? Would you be inspired by your own words? If not, it's time for a change. Make your speech worthy of your potential. Speak of what you desire, not what you fear. Speak of solutions, not problems. Speak of solutions, not hesitation, not hesitation. Remember, words are acts of creation. Use them wisely and watch as they transform not only your circumstances, but the very essence of who you are. Lesson 12. The Power of Your Word. Words are magical instruments that shape our world in ways we seldom recognize. I've often told my listeners that what comes out of your mouth matters just as much as what goes into your mind. Your words are like seeds planted in the garden of your life, and they will grow exactly what you've planted. No more, no less. Consider this remarkable truth. The average person speaks about 16,000 words each day. That's 16,000 opportunities to create your future. These words aren't merely sounds disappearing into the air. They form the very architecture of your life experience. When you declare, "I can't," "it's too difficult," or "I'm not lucky enough," you're issuing commands to your subconscious mind, which accepts these statements without question. I remember a young man who came to me years ago, frustrated by his lack of progress in life. "Earl," he said, "nothing ever works out for me." As we talked, I noticed something fascinating. His conversation was peppered with negative predictions and self-defeating declarations. He was literally talking himself into failure. 6 months later, after carefully monitoring and changing his daily vocabulary, his life had transformed dramatically. Your words carry two distinct powers. First, they program your own subconscious mind, directing it toward success or failure. Second, they influence everyone around you, attracting or repelling the very people and opportunities you desire. Words are not merely descriptive. They are creative forces that build the bridge between your current reality and your desired future. Try this simple experiment. For the next 7 days, eliminate phrases like "I hope," "I'll try," or "maybe someday" from your vocabulary. Replace them with declarations of certainty. "I will," "I am," and "I choose." Notice how differently you feel when speaking with conviction rather than hesitation. The words you use when facing challenges are particularly important. When difficulties arise, most people ask destructive questions like, "Why does this always happen to me?" Your mind dutifully searches for answers to whatever questions you ask. Instead, try asking, "How can I use this situation to my advantage?" Or, "What opportunity is hidden in this problem?" The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. Remember, too, that your internal dialogue, what you say to yourself when nobody's listening, shapes your destiny more powerfully than any outside voice. Make it a practice to speak to yourself with the same respect and encouragement you would offer a beloved friend. Words create worlds. They transform invisible thoughts into visible realities. The universe itself responds to the vibration of your spoken declarations. So choose them wisely, speak them with conviction, and watch as they manifest the life you've always imagined. Your words truly are acts of creation, your personal acts of God.